Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? It is a Monday, October 18th, and we are here to brew a cup of hope for you. My name is Zoe Baraka. How is just everybody doing from all around the world? I am just so excited to be here to be able to moderate, host, be a part of this amazing talk that we're about to have. We decided to do this book review because our dear friend, I like to call her Lady Abba, but for those of you who don't know her, let me say her full name. Her full name is Abba Kato Anda. She's celebrating the 1 year anniversary of her book, Reflections of a Hope Monger. And for everyone that read it, just got a kick out of it and just got so much hope poured into them that we thought, how about we come up and share more hope with the rest of the world? And so we decided, hey, we're going to brew a cup of tea, sip, and just kind of hang out and talk about the book a little bit, talk about some of the things she wrote in the book, read a few excerpts, and just kind of hang out for an hour or two. But we are Ghanaian and African, so how about we say about an hour to about an hour and a half to about 2 hours. Let's just go with the flow. How about that? We are coming to you live on the To My Younger Self page, and also the HopeMongers community page, and also the To My Younger Self page on YouTube. So please find us and join the conversations. As always, every time Africans meet, we like to greet each other from different parts of the African continent because we are the diaspora. So let me greet you wherever you are. If you are in Burkina Faso and you speak Moshi, I say Bella to you, Ibio Kabari to you, Baraka da Zua to you, Sanunku da Zua if you speak Hausa. Anyone who lives in the northern part of any African country will guaranteed be speaking some form of Hausa. So Sanunku da zuwa, barka da zuwa to you. Ya ken futuma awela, to pose wanam baraka. All of these are different variations of the Kosal language. La anwane frafres will say ansuma to you if you speak Wale and you are in Ghana. Ansuma hogange song, that's what the Dagaris will say. I am so excited to have you here. Dasuba, if you live in Tamale. Ndina to you. Wezo. Welcome in. OJ Ko, if you speak Ga and you are from the Garland of Ghana. Ekaro to you. Do you speak Yoruba? We welcome you. Thank you for joining us. Nabato to you. Thank you. Are you from the Akwa Ibom state of Nigeria? Emisiero to you. Emedio to you. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Etisai Minywa Bema Minywa Ba. Akwaba to you. Wanted Den Mimawachi. All these different variations of the Akan language from the people of Ghana. Karibu to you if you speak some Swahili. Habari gani, habari asubuhi. Oyaure if you are Luo from Kenya. Mangwa na nani. You know what? Forgive me for all of you who speak Shona. I think I've been butchering that word a lot. So please forgive me. Let me take that again. Mangwanani to you. Or as they taught me, Mangwana ni to you, Makadi to you, all of these the Shona people of Zimbabwe, Linjani to you if you are Ndebele of also Zimbabwe, Nagadef, it is so good to see you, Senegal, Murembe to you, Oveyindi to you, Inyasi Aloy Domilake to you, Akei, the Creoles will say now my if you are Maori, Awana from the Mendes of Sierra Leone, Welena if you are from the state of Hawaii. I love it. Domelo to you, Kotoli to you. And of course, wherever you are in any part of the world, welcome. Do we say bienvenido? I don't know. Someone please correct me. But welcome. We are so excited to have you here. Once again, my name is Zoe Baraka. I'm going to introduce to you today our Hope Tellers. If you put all of these amazing people together, we would have a book that contains their bios or their biographies. So what we decided to do was to, give each other one-liners and just introduce ourselves that way. And because we're all friends here, hopefully, you can, if you want to know more about us, more about all the people that are coming on, you can just go find them on their pages on Facebook, Instagram, or, just reach out to them, say, hey, I'd like to know a little bit more about you, and they would be able to tell you. Let me take it from Elikem. Elikem has the singular honor of being the one guy who is hanging out with all these ladies. Yeah? Yes. Elikem Aflakwi, he is a lover of books. He is a writer about writing and everything literature and storytelling. Wow. Margie March, she is my senior. I just call her senior because I love to watch her host programs. She is amazing. Margie March, she is a visionary management consultant, international best-selling author of 5 books, a cheerleader for most humans, she says. I dare say she is a cheerleader for all humans, but we'll leave that at that. Amma Duncan is a fabulous child of God who is working towards an Africa in which women in business are empowered to create wealth and impact people. And of course, she says to me today, don't call me big sister. So one time only, I will call her. My big sister, Elsie Dixon, coming to us live from Canada, is a lawyer, a storyteller, and people observer. And of course, the chief HopeMonger herself. She has so many names, but I like calling her Chief HopeMonger, is Abba Keto Anda, Christian psychotherapist, author, mental health advocate. Guys, let us give it up. Let us give it up. Let us give it up for each and every person that is on here, even as I add them onto the stream. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Good morning.
Let me find my senior. There she is. Hi.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning. Before we go on, let me just say a few good mornings to a few people. Wow. Ize from Kenya, good afternoon to you. Nada in the UK, thank you. Oh, I see you. Yidana, Dasuba to you. Lauren, oh my God, you guys are here. I'm just so excited. Patricia Johnson, my goodness. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Akosia Frimpong. I almost said Akosia Japan. That is not good. That's funny. Kole, I see you. Kala, I see you. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, we're going to delve in. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask Lady Abba, since this is her party, to, kind of like set us off. When you hear hope, Lady Abba, what do you think?
Good morning, everyone. And I'm so excited to be here. And I'm so honored that these amazing people are joining me. Can you guys all hear me well?
Oh, yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm not so good at multitasking. And I actually shared, Zoe, one of your old videos. So I'm going to go share in a minute. But hope to me, right? The scientific definition of hope, which really goes close to my heart, is that hope is the belief that your future can be brighter and better than your past, and that you have a role to play in it. So hope is not just an emotion, it's not just optimism, although those are positive emotions that set you off the path on the path. But hope also means that you have a role to play in it. All right. And then there's 3 parts to hope. Number 1, having a vision and setting a goal. Number 2, how am I going to go about? What strategies am I going to employ to achieve that goal? And then number 3, how am I going to surround myself with other hope tellers, motivators, encouragers, right? And so we're all here for number 3 today, and I'm so excited. Thank you all for coming.
Yes, come on. She just set the ball rolling. Before we start, what is everyone drinking today? I'm drinking a cup of hope filled with coffee, the American way.
Coffee here too, very white.
Yes, girl. Who's got tea?
The tea drinkers are here.
Oh, posh. All right, all right. Listen, I'm gonna go and I think I'll give Elikem this honor again. He is the one very lucky, handsome young man who's hanging out with these powerful women. So I'm going to give you the singular honor of just kicking us off. I want you to share. Well, first of all, we are reviewing today this amazing book called Reflections of Hope that our chief hope monger, wrote, so filled with nuggets. I just love the relationship she has with her father. Everyone who knows me knows I'm a daddy's girl. So of course, I was just like reading through that. Yeah, that's a good daddy. Yeah, he's a good father. So we're going to just be taking some excerpts from this book and just talking about it, like 2 minutes. It's going to be like a power round. So Elikam, I'm going to have you kick us off. You can tell us the title of the excerpt you're reading, maybe even what page. She has them on the title, so some you can say it's from the family section, and so on and so forth. And let's kick it off.
Right. Good morning, everyone. And, I'm happy to be here. I'm privileged to also be the only gentleman among all the ladies, powerful and inspiring ladies. So thank you for the invitation. I'll be reading from the section titled "What is Your Life?" and I'll be reading the chapter titled "I Was Here," and it's on page 110. But because you're reading excerpts, I will be starting from 112, and I'll jump a couple of lines and then just read as much as will I believe will communicate to all of us. This chapter, I believe, talks about finding your purpose in life. And a couple of days ago, my wife asked me a question about what is my greatest fear. And we talked about it at length, but one of the things for me was I've always had this feeling that I have a lot of potential and I am not doing as much to reach that potential. There's always this feeling that I am not enough or I'm not doing enough to leave a mark on this earth. And when I interacted with this book, this chapter spoke to me a lot in helping me to allay the fear that I had about that particular thought, and then giving me a better perspective about how I look at my life here and what legacy I am leaving at the end of the day. So I'm just going to get into the reading and maybe we can talk more about it. My greatest desire is to leave this earth knowing that I have achieved all that I was supposed to achieve. And in doing so, I impacted life in a memorable way and left the world a better place. And I want people to know that I did this to glorify God. But with all my best intentions, there were constantly things in my life that seemed to sabotage my attempts to be my best self. The challenges in my life, my character flaws, my mistakes and missteps, and the cycles of guilt, fear, self-doubt, and negative self-talk. I would get very discouraged thinking about the problem, thinking that the problem was me, till I came to the realization that the problem actually lay in 3 lies that I believed about life. And then Abba goes on to talk about these 3 lies. The first one is that to live a meaningful life, your life has to be perfectly put together. And I think that I have contemplated that a lot about how things were not put in place for me. I've always said that my life is a product of serendipity. Things happen for me, and nobody actually put anything in place for me to get to the place that I am right now. And I've always felt that maybe if things were a little different, my life would have turned out differently. But in interacting with this book, I've come to learn that my life doesn't need to be perfectly put together. The second lie she addresses in the book is that to live a meaningful life, you need to be perfectly put together, or you need to have to be perfectly put together. So apart from my life itself not being put together, me as a person, I don't need to be a perfect person. I don't need to have everything right about me to live a meaningful life, have a legacy, and leave the world a better place than I came to meet it. And then the third lie she addresses in the book is that to live a meaningful life, I must do something big by worldly standards. It's always difficult to compare yourself to other people. Look at things people are doing, even your contemporaries. I haven't lived longer than most of the people in the discussion this morning, but even in my short time, when I look at some people my age and some people my peers, and I look at the things that they have done, I feel like maybe I should reach that same level. I should maybe have a PhD by now, and all of those other things that come when you compare yourself to people. But at the end of the day, you don't need to have attained things by the standards of the world, but by the standard of God. So I'm going to the last part of the reading where Abba proposes some solutions to address the lies that she has already talked about or I have already spoken about. The truth is that with all the highs and lows, hello?
Uh-oh. There we go.
Yes.
With all the highs and lows of my life and the joys and pains, I was exactly where I needed to be. God's plan for my life was working in my life. God's plan was being accomplished through every load of laundry I did, every dinner I cooked, every diaper I changed, every nursery rhyme I sang, every prayer I said, every boo I kissed, every project I supervised, every piece of advice I gave, every joke we shared, every time I fell short as a mother, as a wife, I asked for forgiveness. I was living out God's plan for my life. I was writing my story and leaving my legacy. My job is to be my authentic self so that I can fulfill my divine purpose faithfully, season by season. My job is to show up and be present in life. My job is not to act as someone who has no goals, but rather, with intentionality, I will pursue God's plan for my life, recognizing that life was fragile. My resolve is not to take my life or my loved ones for granted. With intentionality, I will live with more conviction and love and more depth. Whether or not there is a crowd applauding, I will keep showing up to life. I will keep pursuing God's given goals. That I please Him is enough for me. So I continue to march onwards with knowledge. With that knowledge, I press on knowing that I am not doing it in my own strength, but with God's strength. I press on in moments big and small. Nothing I do is insignificant. I will finish what I was put on earth to accomplish. I will leave my mark to the glory of His name. I will be true to what God had called me to do. God's specific plan for my life is the only benchmark against which I will chart my success. Thank you.
Wow. I feel like saying an amen. It's almost like he just preached a sermon. So I was like,
Yes, indeed.
yes, we should
Amen is
definitely.
very deserved.
Wow, very well said and very well put together there, Elikem. That was so powerful. Wow. And that is what we're talking about, guys. I hope somebody got, to sip something of hope from this cup that Elikem just brewed. And, just let us know what you think about what he just, read about, serendipity and putting things together and how God's plan is always coming together for each and every one of us, whether we know it or not. We're not here by chance. There's always hope. Hope is the thing that is always moving us forward, as long as we know we have it, right? I think I'm going to do I'm just going to go this way as I see you in the square. So I think I'm going to go with the indefatigable hope teller, Amma Duncan. Can you, I want you to share an excerpt from the book, just like Elikem did. Yes, ma'am.
Can I share something? Can I just say something about that
Yes.
story?
It's your party. Yes.
Yes. There's a song called It's My Party and I Can Cry If I Want to. It's an old song. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But, that particular story, I wrote it. A lot of these stories came out of my journaling experiences, and the ups and downs we go through in our careers or in our journey as parents, as wives, as family members, as friends, and so on. And one thing I love to do, I love a good song, right? Everybody who sees all the reels I do, I love a good song. And I always have a jam of the week, often Christian, but sometimes it's something else. And when I wrote this book in particular, there were two songs I played so often. One of them was a song called Storyteller by Morgan Harper Nichols. But then there's another song called I Was Here, and it's a Beyonce song. I was here, I lived, I loved, I was here. And then the song, but then the thing about me is that I love a song, but then, sometimes there are covers of songs where other artists will sing the song. And honestly, sometimes I love the covers because maybe a person's voice might be suited. So when I was listening to, I was here, the song was jamming me. I was really enjoying it. I'm like, let me go on YouTube and find the cover. So I came across this cover by a woman called Janice Freeman. And it turned out she had been, I think, on The Voice. But when I watched the video, it was really curious because Janice had been suffering from cancer. And actually, when I'm looking at it, she did that performance I had watched maybe a couple of months before she passed away. And you could see she had the ports, right? But she still looked fabulous. And she was saying how she was so ill she couldn't even, rehearse with her backup people, before the performance. And then she said this, and I actually quoted her. She goes, "It has been a struggle. I couldn't do the very thing that my heart desires because I was too sick, in too much pain. And sometimes you feel like I can't even see past the next second, let alone the rest of my day. I gotta get up because I'm not done yet. I haven't made my mark yet. There's too many things that I still want to do. There's too many people that still need healing and that need to be encouraged. So I've got to fight." So if there's someone here who feels like I'm not worth it, or that I can't get through this pain, or whatever it is, I need you to fight. So guys, so when I heard that, I'm like, I'm gonna fight for my best self. In the knowledge that the thing God created me, He created me for a purpose. And He designed me specially not to fail in that purpose. So guys, let's all fight for our best selves. Life will come against us. Sometimes we are our own worst, we step in our own way, we get in our own way, we trip ourselves. Let's get up, let's fight, let's be our best selves.
Wow. And that is why she is the chief hope monger, Somebody had asked a question I thought I would answer right away. Beverly Ross, the name of the book is Reflections of a Hope Monger, and you will find it on Amazon. I know you are in the US, so you should be able to just, go on Amazon, type in Reflections of a Hope Monger. You're going to see, a book that looks just like this. And the author's name is Abaketo Anda. Okay? All right. I see Hope Teller, Margie, have a comment, ma'am?
Yes, I like to call myself the Grand Hope Monger.
Oh, levels. Yes.
I just wanted to put a plug in there that Book Nook Store Ghana also has copies. Yes. So if you're in Ghana, and Book Nook Store actually ships worldwide. So, wherever you are in the world, you could go to Book Nook Store.
Booknook.store.
Yes, you see, I got it wrong. Booknook.store, people. Go check it out and they'll hook you up. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And I do believe Book Nook actually also ships, if not all around the world, at least I know in Africa.
No, we ship to every single corner of the world.
Every corner of the world. So actually, Beverly, can I backtrack? I think please go on Book Nook Store. Amazon is a little overrated these days. Book Nook is the thing. I take it back, Mr. Jeff Bezos. You need your money. You are it, okay? Yes, you are it. All right, Hope Teller Ama, over to you.
Right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I booked way ahead of this call that I wanted to read a particular story that, obviously, many of the stories here gave me goosebumps. There was this particular one. I am reading from the section that says, "Only by grace." Maybe I'm a hope monger by default or something. And the title is Testimony of an Emergency. So just a background to this. There was this famous hurricane. I don't know if it was famous or I just took it really seriously as it was going on. I was in Ghana here and I was always stuck by CNN and BBC watching it. So there was this big storm coming to Florida and they were all, being asked to prepare, some people evacuated and everything. And Lady Abba here, being the very lovely person she is, who is about to host me in her home school, invited two different families from different parts of Florida because they were supposed to be getting hit. to come into her home, but things turned around, and instead, I think a day before or something, they were rather going to be hit. So like some things were like really going to go down, and it wasn't going to be funny. So I'm just going to read some portions. Please get the book so you get the full thing. But yeah, I'm just going to read from page 285. So I think I've said the title, which is on page 283. So she says, by Saturday afternoon, I recognized that we needed to change our focus from the size of the storm to the size of our God. Please let me read this again. I just love that portion. We needed to change our focus from the size of the storm to the size of our God. So we gathered for family prayer time, where I printed out a list of 12 short Bible verses talking about God's love and protection. A couple of those verses were taken from Psalm 91. All of us read the verses out loud, and then we each picked one verse that resonated with us and talked about it in the group. We worship mainly to one song, Yahweh, written by Kofi Kakari. The lyrics of the song are simple but incredibly powerful. We bow down.
Let's do it. And
Worship
Yahweh.
It's such a beautiful song. I love it. Getting my goosebumps right now. Yeah, so they sang this over and over again, and then we discussed how Yahweh is one of the names of God, and simply means I am that I am. He is the God who had no beginning and has no end, the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-sufficient God. I'm going to skip some of the sections and go on to the next. By late afternoon on Saturday, September 9, we had experienced a couple of tornadoes and accompanying heavy rain. As dusk gave way to night, I looked out at our swimming pool and saw that it was brimming over into our lanai. I began to worry that the swimming pool's outlet may have been blocked or wasn't letting the water out fast enough. I could see the waters creeping ominously towards the house. At this point, I began to pray a simple prayer. Lord, hold back the waters so that they don't flood the house. If the outlet is somehow blocked, please unblock it. I turned on the light in the lanai so that I could monitor the situation. I also touched or pointed to every window and door in my house and asked God to dispatch his angels to be on guard to secure them against the wind and rain. As God is my witness, I looked out at the lanai again 5 minutes later and saw with my own eyes that the waters had begun to recede, even as the rain continued to fall heavily. This is the power of our God. You know, I'm getting it, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it. But this is practical Christianity. This is when we talk about faith, we talk about hope, but this is putting it to practice. And right in front of your eyes, you see God at work. You know, we talk about the Bible and sometimes it's so far away, and Sarah was 90, she gave birth, and this was 100 million years ago. But this is a testimony that like it happened like in this lifetime, not 2 million years ago. And this goes to show that this God that we serve, we have to stop belittling him with our little mind. Oh, God can do it, you know, because he owns the entire universe. Oh my goodness, that's amazing, the kind of God we serve. We should just practice this hope, this faith that God has given us the privilege to, as his children. Let's tap into it. There is so much we can do. And I hope this little testimony helps. It may look little, but for me, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Because like a miracle, like a movie right in front of your eyes. Then you see the water receding. The thing that was coming, it's being turned back. And that's the kind of God we serve. So that is just my little, but please get the book and then get all the goosebumps and thank me later.
Yes.
Thank you, Lady Amma. Thank you. Wow. You know, it's true. We should be able to talk to God. We can talk to God. You don't need big words if you don't have them. Just talk to him. Just dialogue with him. He's here. He hears us. You know, I like to say I always have a jam. My current jam is a song called "Everything Will Be All Right." Go listen to it. It's amazing. And then at some point it goes, everything will be all right. Then it goes, the whole world's in his hands. The whole world's in his hands. Truly, we don't need to be strong in ourselves. We just need to tap into the one who has the strength, and we need to focus on him as opposed to the size of whatever problem we are facing. So that's experience gave me a lot of hope for the future. It really did.
Wow. What a powerful, powerful story. This is, I'm thinking about, the Moses experience in the Bible where the waters were, just parted and receding so people could walk through, and you got to experience it in real life. And Amma, you're so right that it's, you get to see practicality of what faith is called and what the power of words is and all that stuff. And so that is so beautiful. Just yesterday, another one of my friends literally looked at a bee that was about to sting me, actually, and just he said to the bee, move, just go away, like right there. And the bee moved.
Wow.
So do you know what I mean? This is what she's talking about. This is exactly what Amma just shared, that everything was created for us. And we can command it. You commanded the waters, and Moses Rivers over here, he just commanded a bee. And so what can we not command as human beings? That's hope right there. I think this is a very good place to all sip a cup of, hope right here. Yes. This is a very good place to do that. Yes, let's do it.
A fun fact about that essay is that when I was writing it, the two families, one family was my brother, which I have one brother. So if I say my brother, it'd be clear who he was. But the other family, they are quite private people. So I felt like I needed to change their names. And I think at first I picked a ridiculous name like Flor. I shouldn't say, okay, I won't say the name I picked for the husband. But I didn't, I picked it. And then I decided as I was rereading the story, no, I'll pick different names for them because after all, I'm writing the story, right? I'm the author. But so when I went and then made the amendments to the story, I didn't do it completely. So when people were reading, like, who is this and who is that and who is this and who is that? I'm like, it's the same people, please. I just need to correct it.
That is so funny. That's hilarious. Oh, the journey of an author. Oh my Lord.
Oh my gosh. It was so funny.
Wow. So I'm gonna go to my left, and so I'm going to I'm gonna try very hard to just call her by her first name because I've been embargoed and I'm not happy at all. But Elsie Dixon, can you please share an excerpt from, I think somebody had asked again what the title of the book was. That was, I think it was a quote. It is Reflections of a HopeMonger, and it is under Abba Keto Under. Please just go into Google and type in Book Nook Store. Is going to pop right up and you will find her there and order from there. And you know what? The team at Book Nook Store will ship it to you right away. They are so fast, your head will spin. I guarantee it. All right. Elsie Dixon, you see how I took a breath there? You're killing me today.
You're doing good. Thank you.
You're really killing me today, but okay.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Let me just say that it was hard to pick one story because there are nuggets just peppered through the entire book. And it's not the kind of book that you inhale at top speed. I am a voracious and very fast reader. But this, I have intentionally slowed myself down so that the spices can marinate in my soul. It's like you're cooking a pot of soup.
That's a papacy of hope. That's the Grandmaster of Hope, Chief HopeMonger. I give you papacy. Wow.
It's like you're cooking a pot of soup. If you rush it, you won't enjoy it. And it tastes better the next day. And that's why I like the title, Reflections of a HopeMonger. Not only do you live hope, you think about it and you ponder over it, and it affects your life. Now, the chapter I choose to talk about today is a chapter entitled, What Time Is It? And it is on page I have the ebook, so you know what? I'm not going to mention the name, the page title, because it might not correspond to the
book.
physical book. What time is it? And there's a reference to Ecclesiastes 3:1. There is an appointed time for everything. See, when you're dealing with a storm, time seems to stand still because you're focused on the storm. But this chapter, which is set in the context of a breakup somebody had suffered, had these nuggets that I'm going to read. It says, nature operates in seasons. Spring is usually the optimal time for planting and autumn for harvest. I mean, if you're on the continent of Africa, we're talking rainy season. Many fruits and plants are seasonal. If planted in the right season, a plant grows best and gives its best yield. If planted in the wrong season, plants fail to thrive. Our lives also operate in seasons. Throughout birth to childhood, teen years, and adulthood, there are seasonal activities and tasks and lessons that we must learn and master. Only then do we successfully move on to the next phase of our lives. Our lives become complicated when we fail to learn the lessons from previous seasons. However, life does bring us the opportunity to learn these lessons. I call them rewind and repair seasons, and they're built into the cycle of our lives. In the rewind and repair seasons, we may have to backtrack a bit. We may have to unlearn bad habits and learn new healthy habits. In this season, we may have to modify or even discontinue certain relationships. It can be a scary time, but it is important to believe that all things will work out for our good in the long run. Just stay the course of the season of your life. Pay attention to the lessons that life is trying to teach you in that particular time and season. Life flows when we understand and honor the seasons of our lives. Otherwise, we will find ourselves stuck in the same frustrating cycles of issues we have not addressed. The Bible says that there is a season to everything and a time for every activity in this life. And then she goes on to list some examples from Ecclesiastes 3. A time to plant and a time to harvest. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones. A time to search and a time to quit searching. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be quiet and a time to speak. Do you really know what season of your life you're in? One good question to ask yourself today is this: what time is it?
Amen.
Amen.
Is it?
And we all just like close our eyes and kind of let it sit
Amen.
with us. That is,
Amen.
wow.
Amen. And you know, when I have conversations with people, you know, and sometimes I present things like that to them, oftentimes God is speaking to me as well. You know, I think intrinsic to us, we were created to understand that there's a timing for everything. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves, and self-will is often the reason. We're in a hurry, you know. So I think that it's all about learning to be quiet, learning to spend time with God. If you know He's given you this vision, your next question, and it's a critical one: when, Lord? What is your timing for it? You know, because if you try in cooking, in farming, in everything in life, timing is key. Timing is key. I tell people, you know, one example I use is if you buy the best turkey seasoned to the best, optimally, and you put in the oven, it's supposed to be in for 5 hours, and you try and take it out after 2 hours to eat, it will not taste good. So timing is everything. And one of the quotes at the beginning of my essays, I usually have quotes. One quote that really just resonated with me is by a golfer called Arnold Palmer. He's from Florida, I believe, and he, you know, not only did he have a great golfing career, but then he was a philanthropist as well. So there's a hospital named after him called Arnold Palmer Hospital. But then he said something. He says timing is everything in life and in golf. If we don't, and so we have to, and to have the right timing, you have to be quiet and pay attention, right? Go vertical and say, okay, Lord, when, show me. I need to stay sensitive to hear from what the world is telling me, or, you know, or hear from what circumstances are saying, but also what God is telling me. and then strike. So timing is everything. Life flows in seasons. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if I can just add, I mean, as I thought some more about it, it occurred to me that the only way you can, nothing moves at the same pace throughout an event from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And so the timing to start may not be the same timing during the course of the events. There are moments in life events where one needs to speed up. And there are moments during the course of the same events, the same lesson, the same season, where one needs to stop. And also when one needs to wrap up, and the pace at which we wrap up. It is important to remain plugged into the source of our strength so that we keep in time with the timing within the season itself. You see, sometimes you have a good idea, but you rush through it, and there are painful lessons that come with that. At other times, you have an idea and God is saying, move now, and we get in the way of ourselves. And we, rather than having hope, rather than focusing on the person who gave us the idea, we think with our human minds of all the things that won't make it work. Oh, but I don't have enough money. But my team is not ready. I don't have enough experience. God is saying the time is now, move now. Now, if you slow down and you don't move when God says move, it might throw several other things out of sync.
Yeah.
But my reassurance as I read that was, there's the opportunity to reset. Hope is realizing that there are landing stages where you can pause. Say you're in a current and it's drifting really fast and you've lost control. And all of a sudden there's a branch. All you need to do is reach out and grab onto that branch so that you can recalibrate. So you may have missed something in the down current, but by holding on to the branch, you can kind of reorient yourself and figure out, where am I? What do I need to do? Because all is never lost. There is always hope that you have to go back and fix some things. There's just so much to unpack from this short story.
There is.
And
there
I think
is.
that we need to go back every now and then and reread the stories that catch our attention. So I just
Yes.
wanted to throw
Yes.
that in for further reflection.
Yes, and during those rewind and repair seasons, or if God says stop, there's always a lesson to be learned. There's always wisdom to be gained. Sometimes it's maturity he wants you to gain. Sometimes it's like, girl or boy, just chill, rest. Sometimes it's like, hold up, I'm going to do it, and you'll see my power in this situation. Sometimes it's like, you're ready. What are you waiting for? Go. So it's important to learn to be sensitive, and as long as we are just doing this journey with him by our side, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Amen.
I see Grandmaster Hope over here, Hope Teller. She has her very cute little finger up. So yes, I'll give you the floor, ma'am.
You know what? I'm just loving everything that you guys are saying. And I wanted to point out that I think Elsie and Abba need to collaborate on a project. Their voices are soothing, and it almost sounds like, even when Elsie was reading, it sounded like Abba's audiobook. So the two of you need to get together.
Hey, and I volunteer that we do this. Let's do it.
I don't know about timing. I don't know what it is. I mean, we are all hope tellers here, and we got these two right there in the middle who are going to give us that punch. Amen.
Y'all need to take a flight. Y'all need to take a flight and come out here to New York. We'll give you
Florida.
a studio. Not well, because we have a free studio here. Why not?
Zoe has a studio. Yay!
Yes, come in.
Do it.
Well, Zoe, God gave her a studio. She don't got one. You know what I mean? But we can do it. So I think this is the timing that she's talking about. Let's jump on it. Plane tickets and stuff. Let's figure this out, because you all need to come out and let's do this. Just backtrack a little bit. Wow, these comments are flooding in so much. It's ridiculous. Oh my God. Guys, we're so into the conversation, we haven't had a chance to acknowledge you. First of all, we thank you for your time. Thank you for investing your Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Monday night, evening with us. We are so grateful for that. And I see each and every one of you. Newton, thank you so much for joining us. There were so many people up in there. I can't even keep scrolling up anymore. So I see you. We acknowledge you. Ifwa, I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just going back to the issue of timing, for anyone who is a very ardent Sanchu reader, The Art of War, he says that in the book. He says that the warrior or the military person's greatest arsenal is timing. And so if you think of all of us as, and I love Sanchu, I think aside from the Bible, that would be my other Bible. Military precision and timing is everything. If you go too soon than you should, you will be killed. So from a military point of view, but thank God we have grace from God, so he doesn't kill us. He gives us time to reset and all of that. But when you think about it in that way, timing is everything. And so now we have the opportunity of going to our Grandmaster of Hope, the lady herself, Margie March, our international best-selling author herself, who is in our midst. We thank you for gracing our platform. Like I said,
5 times.
Yes, she is, my senior. I just have to call her senior. Senior, okay, not in age. That's not what I meant. Let me rephrase that. Not in age, just by experience. And the person who I also watched a lot, aside from Mohini Gifty Auntie at the time, of how to moderate and just carry yourself when you are hosting an event. So that's what I meant, my senior. Over to you.
Well, thank you for this idea of having us brew this morning. I'm raising my cup to everyone. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Hey.
Cheers,
to everybody watching, remember, share this with your network, because this is a powerful conversation. Elikam, thank you so much for your words. And hey, Amadanka, I knew she would say something about goosebumps. I mean, when she said the first goosebumps, I was like, yeah, got it, goosebumps. And then it was like, more goosebumps. You are so amazing. I mean, your voice, I should be calling you every morning so that you set me for the day. Like, seriously.
You can't do that. That's my job.
Oh,
that's mine. No, I'm very protective like that. No, we're not doing that. No.
But that goosebumps thing, it's a signal. I'm going to say something. Me, sometimes I'm a little controversial. When I was writing the book, I always knew an essay was ready when I had goosebumps, and wow. I would call it my literary orgasm. We're all grown.
We're all grown. Let's go home.
5 women and a man.
Your next book title, Margie.
You can't bring all this together. You guys are terrible. Elikam, this is all you. I don't know what to say.
I think it's time to take a sip.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I need a sip.
All right, my dear.
But go ahead, Abba, you were saying.
No, that was my literary orgasm.
Oh, that was a punchline? Okay.
All right, Marge.
These are massive. Well, as Elsie was saying, the chapters in the book, man, Reflections of a HopeMonger, so powerful, powerful, powerful. You don't even know which ones to choose. And if you're watching us or listening to us, remember to go to HopeMongers. It's a podcast that Abba has, where she hosts people sharing stories of hope. She does this on a weekly basis. She has shared amazing stories, and you will be inspired. And remember, as we have it on the ticker, the HopeMonger community is out there on Facebook. Join us. You will see all these inspiring posts that everybody is sharing. Everybody is welcome in the community. And I'm going to that chapter that I'm supposed to read. I will read a short excerpt, and it is Leave Room. Abba, you got me there. leave room. It says, call to me and I will answer you. Jeremiah 33, verse 3. There are only two ways to live your life. One, as though nothing is a miracle. The other, as though everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein. You know what, guys? Especially with all that is going on in the world right now, this chapter really got me. Leave room. Abba, tell us, why did you decide to end the book this way?
Hey.
Whoa. Okay, now that she's mad now.
Because in myself, I'm so far from perfect. In myself, sometimes I look at life based on my skewed observations, based on my own junk in my head. By myself, I can do nothing. But with him working through me, I can do all things. I can do all things, you know. And so this I ended it with, because this was everything I do. I have to leave God to come inside. He comes inside and he makes the difference. Everything I do, every small thing and every big thing and everything. I'm not sure how it will go. Everything I have to bring him inside to make that difference. It doesn't mean he doesn't. Yes, he's given me strengths and talents and abilities. True, but I feel like when I leave room for him to come in, the result is always exponential. You know, you guys coming into my life is not by chance. I remember praying before I reached out to Margie. You know, and what happened? She took me under her wing. She made me her sister. She calls me Odo, which means love.
Yes.
Right? She launched my book for me. I mean, amazing. The things I could, every time I have a thing, I go to my sister and she tells me, you know, Amma Duncan, I reached out to her and she was, I think she was the third person on my podcast. I remember her episode of my podcast just went, what's the word for a viral podcast? So many hits, and people, even yesterday, somebody said she gave my name to somebody who's up there, and it was actually Amma Duncan's podcast that she sent. This person sent. So you know, it's blessed. It's because I left room by myself. No, Elikem, you know, I met him through my sister Margie, and the timing was right because Elikem was busy getting married, doing his stuff with his wife, whatever he was doing, whatever newlyweds do. I ain't gonna talk too much about that.
Oh Lord, good God.
But when the time was right, right, he wrote, oh my goodness, what a review. And look, he's here with me, you know. And then Elsie and Zoe, oh my goodness. I met, seriously, I saw Zoe's video by chance on my feed. And I was like, who's this woman? Who's this woman? I mean, there's a saying, you had me at hello. And I fell in love with Zoe immediately. And then she had me on. And then with Zoe, I also get another sister, Elsie. Amazing, 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 you know. And now, look, I'm going to record an audiobook. Ask Margie. I've been talking about audiobook for months ago. Remember that, sis? Do you remember? And then I faffed around, went around in circles. But look, the Lord is making a way. And interestingly enough, this October, I was really praying, Lord, give me helpers. Just give me people who will help me. So this is a testimony. This is a testimony.
This is hope.
Right.
This is hope.
Right.
Wow. But can I just say, I think that Grandmaster of Hope over here, Margie March, she is such a gifted moderator that she has expertly kind of swayed the conversation a little bit away from her because that's where she's comfortable. I'm going to expertly shift it back to her and allow her to, you know, read her excerpt for us. My dear Grandmaster of Hope. I think we have you. There you go.
I thought I was done reading.
No, you weren't. Because we did not hear an excerpt at all.
But I will read some more.
Thank you, my dear.
My first reaction to things is often, I'm continuing the leave room. Yes, my first reaction to things is often hilarious. Over the years, my family has had many good laughs because of this. About a year ago, a new gas station opened up near my house. and I decided to check it out. As I walked into the store, I was immediately drawn to the sophisticated touchscreen coffee machines. Although I'm not a big coffee drinker, they looked so impressive to me that I decided to get a cup of coffee. I began to make my selection. Drink coffee, cup small. The next screen gave me two options, fill cup or leave room. My brain didn't immediately process the second option. And so, true story, my first thoughts were leave room. I think she thought she had to leave the room. And go where?
Without the coffee. Oh, Lord.
Why can't I stay in here, hey, sister? How long would this coffee take to brew anyway? After a few seconds, though it eventually dawned on me that while the fill cup option filled the cup to the brim with freshly brewed coffee, the leave room option left space in the cup to allow one to add milk, cream, or whatever flavorings one desired to add to their coffee. So I guess she didn't leave the room right away.
Oh my God.
That is something that I think we all see in our lives. We have to leave room, just like Abba said, because we need space for God to do his work, and we can't do it by ourselves.
Yes.
As everybody is on Zoe's platform today, you've learned about, to my younger self, she had to leave room for Abba and the crew, the HopeTellers, the 5 women and a man, to come on her show.
So that's a good title, 5 Women and a Man. Someone grab that, please. Awesome out there.
No. We're copywriting it as ours.
Oh, yeah. Margie's next book. Margie's next book. 5 Women.
Our lawyer has spoken that we're copywriting.
All right. Copyrighted. Sorry, guys. 5 Women and a Man.
Amma is joining us from Ghana. She's always telling us to mind our business.
And leave room while we mind our business.
Leaving room while we mind our business. And as for Elikem, I'm not sure if his leave room is the kind of leave room or if he has to leave the bride's room. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Poor Elikem. They can't for you to do, my dear.
He left the room to come here this morning, newlywed,
I know.
In the Bible.
Exactly that.
In the Bible.
Elikem. Congratulations, by the way.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I can't even. Congratulations again. That's true. Wow. Thank you so much. See, I knew I had to go back to her. She is definitely the ultimate, what do I call that? Hype woman. You need Margie in your corner. I can't say that enough. I really can't say that enough.
Yes,
when she appeared on To My Younger Self, life kind of happened and I would probably not even reach out for a stretch of time, and she would pick up the phone and call me just to gist. No one does that these days. So, again, you really are one of the people, when we leave room, God just uses you, and we're just so grateful, and we thank you for that, my dear. Thank you.
Margie, you are the cream and the flavoring to my coffee.
This is true. This is true. Yep. And I feel like I see something happening. I just don't have a word for it yet. And Marge, I think you need to do the listening and the timing with God and figure out what you're going to do with these 5 women and a man thing. All of us, really, there's something there. So I'm just going to leave it out there. We are 58 minutes in. Like when we started, I had said that we had said an hour, but we are storytellers, one. We are authors and lawyers and filmmakers and business people and writers too. And most importantly, we are African. Our 1 hour kind of means an hour and, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. We always leave a lot of room. So let's just say now we're 30 minutes in. You know what I mean? Let's just say that. And
exactly.
Just before I think I'm gonna. I saw that Elsie's hand was up for a minute, but I'm gonna let our grandmaster of no, not grandmaster, but
Chief HopeMonger.
There's I need to remember that. To take her turn, I would like to say again, and thank you so much, Grandmaster. You did put it so well. Find the Hope community on Facebook. We are there. Join us for daily nuggets and just, conversations just like this. And, just pick me ups and ideas and thoughts concerning hope. That's one. Find the book, okay? First of all, find it on Book Nook Store. And also, find it anywhere else. Just find it anywhere else. But first, Book Nook Store, you have to go there, okay? And what else did we forget to say? Actually, Marge has a weekly thing that she does. I forgot to add that. Humanity Chat. She is the biggest cheerleader of most humans. I tried to find a thread between the people that she, brings into her chat. And the thread that I found was humans. Humans. All walks of life with different stories. And she calls it Humanity Chat. Find her on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You cannot miss her pretty face. It's just right there. And there's just people from all walks of life just talking about their daily lives and their daily challenges and what hope has done for them, what God has done for them, what science has done for them. She talks to young, old, just everyone. Please find her. And of course, we have the Hope Teller herself, Amma Duncan, of the Fabulous Woman Network. Listen, do you have an idea that you don't know how to put together yet? First of all, we have a lawyer who can help you, after you've got the idea right. Just go to her. She'll fix you real good with, patents and all that. Well, I don't know what I'm saying lawyer-wise, but just talk to her first. That's Elsie. And find the Fabulous Woman Network on all social media platforms. Reach out to Amma Duncan. She will help you recalibrate, reset, figure it out in, small bites, however fast you want to move, slow you want to move. She's got all the moves and she helps you so well. So find her there, okay? Especially if you're a woman. Oh, then you've got her right there, okay? And of course, our Hope Teller Elikem, who I know he is writing about writing. That is amazing. So, just find him on all of the, platforms. Find him on Facebook, on YouTube, and all kinds of things. I think my mouse is doing something, but it's okay. That's what Satan does. No lie. All right, guys. So now, lastly, I'm going to let our Chief Hope Teller. I know you guys had your hands up, but some people kind of have to leave in about 15, 20 minutes. So I want to keep it real crisp so that we're not missing anything. So I'll let you share your excerpt in the story, and then I might possibly go last.
Thank you. And I think if it's okay with you, I want to comment on Margie's story, Leave Room. And there's 3 things I observed about that story. Number 1, Sister Margie, if you laugh at me, we come from the same village.
Hey.
So as I am, so are you. So that's number 1 right there. Number 2 is that when the story first happened, you guys know Dr. Teddy Totime. He's a neurosurgeon, right? He was actually visiting us in Florida. And as I was telling the story, Teddy laughed. I thought he was going to roll on the floor and hurt himself.
Teddy's great.
So that was a lot of fun. And then thirdly, I got some goosebumps just now talking about Leave Room, and it's about coffee. And then I saw that I caught the word brewing. I have my ebook open here. I caught the word brewing, and today we are brewing hope. So it just made me feel all nice and fuzzy inside. Yeah. My story that I want to read, I'll take like a few seconds. It's called Love You and Leave You Not. And it's a story I wrote about my relationship with my mother, and here's what I wrote. First of all, the quote, one of the quotes I used says, "Love transcends time and space." And then I go on to write, "Love you and leave you not," was how my mother would sign off from our phone conversations. I'm a firm believer that we can never say "I love you" often enough to our loved ones. And also, I believe it's important to always say a loving goodbye before taking leave of a loved one. Life is fragile, and the truth is that tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So I talk about my relationship with my mother, how it evolved, the difficult, the cute, the warm and loving childhood years, a difficult teenage period, and then how she became my best friend in my 20s till the time she passed away suddenly, when I was 35 years old. She literally got up in the morning, fixed her hair, did her eyebrows, having a wonderful day. And then that evening went to bed, and 20 minutes later, she was gone. It's in the book. It's called "And I Love You and Leave You Not." And I mourned because this is back in 2005. You had phone cards, right? And I would call her every other weekend. But so this particular weekend, I was supposed to call her. A friend of mine's mother had died, and I said, you know what? Let me call my friend and comfort him. And I remember thinking, my mother will always be there. The next day, I was supposed to go buy a phone card. Well, the next day, I forgot. And then Monday, I just felt like a stress, a tension inside of me. I didn't know where it was coming from. Monday, Tuesday, and then on I think it was Wednesday. On Wednesday nights, then I got the call. When you get those of us who live outside of Ghana, when you get a 1 a.m. call and it's not regular daylight hours back home, then you kind of feel stressed. Well, that was the call. It was an acute event. It wasn't that she'd been ill or expected, and I was in shock and grief. Probably for a solid 3 months, I was just numb. But I write about this. Here's what I say. It says, raw with grief, I mourned the lights that had been extinguished from my life, and I contemplated the many things I could have said that would now forever be unsaid to my mother. I never got to tell her about how my week went. I never got to tell her that now that I was a parent myself, I understood the enormous weight of responsibility that a parent carries in shaping their child's life. And that I finally got her. And although I tried to show it in a bunch of different ways, I don't think I ever seized the opportunity directly and eloquently enough to tell my mother just what a debt of gratitude I owed her. The intense pain of missing out on a chance to say the final goodbye to my mother lingered for a long while. But one morning, with the slow dawning of sunrise, memories of 1,000 small, big, magnificent, ordinary, hilarious, frustrating, inspiring, disagreeable, loving mother-daughter moments and love you and leave you not goodbyes began to flood my soul. Each memory was a priceless reminder that we had loved each other deeply and fiercely, and I felt an incredible healing balm to my soul. In a world of a million goodbyes, we are not guaranteed the privilege of a final, meaningful goodbye moment with our loved one. But what we will have is a treasure trove of precious memories to draw on. And while we still have life, we have the ability to build even more beautiful memories. So don't let an I love you go unsaid in your life, and make every goodbye count. I think it says it all from my heart. Yes. To whoever is listening. Who do you have in your life? You need to say, I love you too. Human beings are not perfect. You can love them unconditionally, even as you set a boundary against maybe a dysfunction they may have, but don't let an I love you be unsaid. Who in your life have you perhaps chilled out, frozen out of your life? And don't get me wrong, sometimes there's some people we need to have a distance from. But who in your life do you know that you're supposed to reach out to them? Right? Because you may not have that final goodbye. So today is what you have to make it count. That's my story.
Beautiful.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, I'm lost for words. So we're going to say amen to that. Anyone who knows me knows losing a mother is a very raw thing for me. And so trying to keep my sanity and my, made up face, I'm not going to say much on this particular subject just yet. Wow. That's all I will say. Whew, wow. And since everyone is given themselves, well, not given, we're just all kind of like reaching out into destiny and kind of like grabbing the names I believe God is giving us where hope is concerned. You know, how we have HopeTellers, and we have the Chief HopeMonger and Grand HopeMonger and the Papacy of Hope over here. I would just call myself the Princess of Hope. And we're just going to leave it at that. Because I always just think I'm very, you know, princessy. I don't know. That's just me. Anyway.
That's not fair. I'm the youngest here.
Well,
for my gray hair,
tough.
Sister.
No, the way, no. My princess status is just different. I'm sorry. I tell everyone that I am God's princess and that nothing that comes out of my mouth to God will go back void ever. And I have lived by that principle for a very long time. And so I think I would just take a minute because I know a few people have to leave soon. I would just share my excerpt and then we would kind of wrap up real quick. I take my excerpt from
Zoe, I think Margie wanted to say something.
All right, yes. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to say goosebumps, Amma.
This woman, I'm just done. I'm just done.
The business of hope.
Goosebumps. Okay. So, oh God. All right. Come back to earth. I'm going to take mine from the heading family, and it's titled "Say What." Right? From chapter 1, page 187. It starts off by saying, "Words are free. It's how you use them that may cost you." By Kushant Wisdom. And like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word spoken in right circumstances. Proverbs 25, verse 11. That is the NASB. I will take a few things from here. She says, "One day, several years ago, out of the blue, my family began to quote the things that they said I fear the most. I initially pretended not to listen, hoping that they would back off. But then curiosity got the better of me, so I asked them to list my 20 most used phrases. Without missing a beat, they began to quote me. In no time, they came up with a list of 20 quotes. Quotes. Here is a sampling. Archie, in a shrill voice. I know you guys heard me calling you. Go ahead. In response to which my kids have discovered that it's best to abort the intended action. Has anyone seen my glasses? Aditya or Karen's. My phone is dead, despite owning numerous charges. I just want to look at the dessert menu after I have announced that I am off. I am so full. I overate. I'm going on a diet. I need to get back to the gym. Wake me up in 10 minutes, okay? Never works. I am one person. I am not a robot. It was hilarious watching them go back and forth, imitating even my mannerisms and tone of voice. But then I realized that something important was emerging from this simple exercise. I was able to stand back and see myself in a way I never had the opportunity to do before. All right, I'm going to skip back a little bit because I want to get the real meat. All of this to say, get the book so you can get the middle of the story, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so all the way down, she puts it right here. It's a well-established principle in psychology that a person's thoughts directly influence their emotions and their actions. And the Word of God teaches this. My top 20 list was clear evidence of this. My words were a product of my thoughts. And through my words, I could identify my stresses as well as the behaviors that distract me from walking in the purpose that God has ordained for me. So now, armed with this new insight, I was faced with a decision. Continue as this or begin a process of changing the behaviors that don't serve me well. The ball was in my court. ... And indeed, the ball is in our court. I am a very big advocate of words. And so this is why this particular story in the Reflections of a HopeMonger kind of really got me, because when I find myself in a situation, I always just say in my mind, or when I walk into a room, I would say in my mind, royalty has arrived. The princess is here. Let everyone just kind of stop and look. And without knowing, it was actually happening. And then I would go back and say, why was everyone staring at me? And then eventually God would remind me, you forgot, you just said royalty entered. What happens when royalty enters a room? You know, a few things I normally would say to myself also is that I am Zoe par excellence. Everything I do is done with excellence. I would say to myself, to whom much is given, that's something my dad passed on to me, much is expected. So what was given to me, you know, for a very long time, I didn't really like my face because of the tribal mark that's on my face. And I turned it around a bit because of the power of words. And I started saying, I have the most amazing, beautiful looking skin. When people see me, they're not going to see a tribal mark. They would see the skin on my face. And after a couple of months, I started to work. I used to have very bad dark circles, for example, and I one day just said, change it. And so my skin is even tone. What is wrong with you? And I just started to do that. And so all of this to say that what are you saying to yourself? When no one is listening, what are you speaking to yourself? Remember, you are the one person that is having the most conversations with yourself. So if the conversations you're having are not positive, people will feel that, they will know that, and they will treat you the way you treat yourself in your mind. The power of words. The Bible says it very well. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So what are you choosing? I wake up every day saying, God, I choose life. No matter what's going on in my life, I choose life and I speak positiveness into my life. I would say things like, strangers have no choice but to help me. And don't you know, when I go into the store, the simple act of going into the store, people will say, what are you looking for? I know it's their job, but I feel like they're always going the extra mile for me, you know? So change your words. Change your words. Call yourself a princess, a prince. What are you looking for in life? Begin to just say you are that. And without you even realizing it, it will happen. Okay? That's what I got from Reflections of a Hope Monger. Our one man, hope teller. I don't know why I just wanted to say Pastor Elikem. That's so weird.
Hey, preach it. Come on.
But hope teller Elikem, I see your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to say something about the reading you just did and then the book in general. I read that part, and then as you read it again, I felt like something all of us should do is to ask people to, just as Abba did in the book, ask people to tell us what are the top 20 things that we say all the time. It helps us to know ourselves a little more. But as you go through the book, you see there are these call to actions, things that you can do, things that you can say, things that you can accept, and maybe as a suggestion to Abba, one thing you can do with this book is to come up with a study reference or like a note kind of with questions and answers of what people could do after reading each chapter. It was very helpful. I never read this book without having a pen with me. I'm always writing in the pages. I'm always underlining things, making notes of things I have to do and things like that as I interact with the book. So I think that this is a material that can grow on its own. There's so much that you can do in addition to the first volume that we have here. So you could have like call to actions, notes, study references, questions, and people can answer and things like that, or just reflections people can have at the end of reading a chapter. But yeah, that's one key thing about the book that I love so much.
I think that this is the time where we
prophesy. Sister Maggie was saying something. What?
I know.
Before you prophesy.
Okay.
What are you saying, Maggie?
Yeah, I was about to say, Brother Elikem, from your lips to God's
ears.
Amen. Amen.
Well, it's pretty much about what I was about to say. I was like, I think it's time we thought about using the book for a master class. You know, it is time that we started doing that. This would be a good material. You know, for most of the motivational speakers out there, they have a few people that they read. I think this is required reading for aspiring motivational speakers. It's actually not a prophecy, it's a fact. It's required reading for you guys. I know most Christian motivational speakers would go to Les Brown or even Miles Monroe. The other guy, white guy, I forget his name now. And those who are into finance will go to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and stuff like that. This is required book in all disciplines of life. So whether you're Christian, whether you are practicing Buddhism, whatever it is, this is required reading for you if you want to be able to reach many people. Reflections of the HopeMonger. I thought I would put that out there. We were supposed to actually go into a part where we all kind of, talk about what our metaphors of hope are. We are an hour, 19 minutes in. I know our audience is not tired because the numbers have been steady and rising and they're not tired, but I think I would leave this to our chief monger and HopeMonger and see, what do you think? Is this something we have to come back another time and do?
Come back.
Let's come back. Let's come back and do justice to that.
Yes, I think so. Because if we tried to do it, we would rush it. So I think it's a date. We might probably try to do this sooner than later. Maybe in the next month or so, we would have to make time and come back again. And this time we would not read excerpts. We would just go and just begin to share what we think hope is, our thoughts about hope and things like that, so we can lift people up together, right? Hope always lifts up together. We lift together. Guys, I want to say thank you. Hope Teller, Elikim, Pastor Elikim, I'm just going to put it out there. Thank you so much for coming and just investing your time with us. The Bible does give every newly married man in the Old Testament a whole year where they don't go into battle and fight and do things. So please take a year. Okay, take a year. You know what I mean.
But leave room for us.
And well, of course, yes, leave a little room for us, but still take a year. Only when the 5 women have called, come out. But everything else, take a year, please. Hope Teller, Amma Duncan, I want to say thank you to you, fabulous women. I'm always saying there's 2 people in my life I would want to see on the catwalk, in an event, and you're one of them. There's another one who is in Nigeria. But you definitely would. If I was a designer, I would. Oh my God, I would just. I would fab you up for real though. My big sister, I know you don't want me to call you that today, so I would just say the Papacy of Hope. I thank you. Thank you for taking time off your busy schedule just to be with us and just hang with us. God bless you. Of course, the Grandmaster of Hope herself, the ever funny, ever amazing, ever supportive cheerleader of every human being on earth, Margie Marge. Thank you so much for investing your time. Thank you so much for coming and gracing us with your beautiful smile. And every single time I see you, that lipstick is on flick. Just like she has the most popping colors of lipstick. Ooh, God bless you. Chief HopeMonger herself, the one who is about to read a book, make it into a podcast, the person who is about to develop a syllabus for a masterclass, the person who is about to start just going into the 4 corners of the world and speaking about hope. We thank you for inviting us into your space and brewing a cup of hope with us. God bless you. We cannot say it enough. We're so grateful that God brought you into our lives. I think that it was ordained when you reached out to me personally on Facebook. Thank you. I am so appreciative of that. And of course, to the princess herself, I mean, when you have a princess, you're done. So, I mean, I'm just going to say thank you to myself too. I joke. Guys, as always, you can find us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. Search the HopeMonger, the Reflections of a HopeMonger. Look up Abaketo Under, and of course all the authors that we have here. Look them up and just feed your soul with positiveness and positive words and just a lot of hope. Realize that even the mundane things of life are not so mundane. They're all orchestrated by God for you. Okay, I'm going to let our chief HopeMonger kind of like close us out, because this is her party, and if she doesn't let us go, we cannot go. So I think my job is done. I appreciate you guys for just allowing me to be host, be funny, be forgetful sometimes, and all of that. Grandmaster of Hope, thank you for catching it and correcting me so expertly without even knowing. I am grateful for that. Thank you. Like I said, I'm always learning from this woman. So, Chief HopeMonger, I hand over the party to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Zoe. First of all, I'm going to take a picture right here, because, when good things happen, you should capture it and use it as a memorial.
Well, I think
God
I'm
will
just
always
going to
do
show
things
my
in your life. So everybody show your caps. Let me take a picture, please. And
okay, I'll do this.
Okay, there. You guys, you know what? You are an answer to a prayer. You don't know. And my best friend Sarah, if I could get it on it, she will testify that I was praying that, Lord, just bring me people to support me. This is an answer to a prayer, and I thank you. Anybody who doesn't know any of these people, just look up Zoe Baraka, Elsie Dixon, right? Amma Duncan, Margie Marge, Elikem. He's on the Facebook as Nana Elikem. Or just look them up. Just look them up, and then you'll know what a blessing God has given me today. Thank you. Because of you guys today, I know that hope can stay alive. I know that I should continue to hope, and that nothing is impossible. There's no situation that is too dire. And that's my message to everyone, really. Thank you all for coming. By the grace of God, we'll come back again and share more hope. By the grace of God, these projects will be able to get feet and begin to walk and run. And I just say a blessing onto everybody listening, onto my friends, my 4 sisters and a brother. No, how many? Yeah, there's 5 ladies, right? And a guy. So to my 4 sisters and a brother, thank you so much. I love you. You guys are an answer to my prayer. Thank you. Mwah.
Well, we love you and we leave you not. Okay? We love you and we leave you not.
Thank you.
This has been Brewing a Cup of Hope. I was about to say something else. Y'all know what that was. So inside joke, I know. Brewing a Cup of Hope. It's so hard to unhook because this was such a wonderful conversation, but we do have to go. And so listen, hang on to hope. All of the nuggets that were shared here, don't, take them for granted. Just hold on to them. If you have lost any kind of hope in any situation, just find reflections of hope and kind of, stay down a little bit and read. I guarantee you by the first 2 chapters, you will be up and running again. That's a personal guarantee. Okay. Guys, from Elsie Dixon, well, no, let me backtrack that. The papacy of hope herself, Elsie Dixon, from the Hope Teller herself, the fabulous Hope Teller herself, Amma Duncan, from Hope Teller Pastor Elikem, from the Grandmaster of Hope herself, Margie Marge, and of course, the Chief HopeMonger, Abba Kato, and of course, the Princess of Hope, Zoe Baraka. I want to say thank you. If you speak Haza, I say Nagode to you. Impossible to you if you speak Kosan. Akpe to you if you speak Ewe. Oyu Waladong if you speak Gan. Wait as Vako. I hope I said that right. Asante Sana if you speak Swahili. And of course, a songo to you if you are from the Akwa Ibom area of Nigeria. I want to say thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. We are signing off. We love you all so dearly. Go out there and find some hope. All right? Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.